Is this like probability 1 through 3?
Yeah. Yeah. We just did it in a different order. So on 10-2.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. So let's get started with today's notes. 10.2 is called combinations. Can somebody tell me what you remember me saying yesterday about combination versus permutation? Allie? You were so quiet. Combination.
Oh, no. Order has to be in a certain.
Yes. Permutation, order matters. So your combination locks outside are not actually combination locks because the order matters. So permutation, order matters. Combination, let's write, order does not matter. So an example, there are 13 of you, and I want to pick 3 to go down to the library. So I could pick 1, 2, 3 to go, or I could pick 1, 2, 3. That'd be the same thing. Order doesn't really matter. If I had 3 candy bars to give out, that would be different if I did Snickers, Milky Way, Butterfinger, or Snickers, Milky Way, Butterfinger. So that makes a whole lot more combinations when order matters. All right, so this is the formula. You are not required to remember the formula or to use it. Let's just make sure we can type it. So let's do that. Let's say I have 13 of you, and I'm going to choose 3 of you to go to the library. Think of how many ways I could do that. Don't think. It's going to take a while. Use your calculator to calculate 13. Choose 3 people. So 13 math over to PRB, probability. Bless you. Down to your third choice. Choose. Everybody good with their calculator? Okay, without a calculator, tell me this. Which would be bigger? 13 choose 3 or 13 permutation 3? Just bigger. No calculator. Yeah, why? Take a guess. Lydia?
Because it matters. The order matters, so there's a lot more variation.
Yeah, that's like the candy bar. If I had 3 candy bars and they're different, these 3 could get those in like a bunch of different ways. Whereas if I just take 3 of them to the library, it's just those 3. It's the only way I can combine them together. Permutations will have more. All right, example 1. Parents have 10 books that they can read to their children this week. 5 of the books are nonfiction and 5 are fiction. If the order in which they read the books is not important, how many different ways can a set of 4, how many different sets of 4 books can they choose? How many books are there to pick from? 10. And how many are we choosing? 4. Order doesn't matter. 10. Choose 4. Make your calculator do the work. Sophia, let me know what you get. Yep. B. In how many groups of 4 books, as we know out of the 10, I'm picking 4, are all of the books either nonfiction or fiction? The word or is very important. I would, at the top of your notes, write this. Or means add. Or means add. When we get to and, that means multiply. Or add. So let's read this again. In how many groups of 4 books are all of the books either fiction or nonfiction? So let's just talk about fiction first. How many fiction books how many nonfiction books are there? 5. And I'm going to choose, I want all 4 of the books that I'm picking to be nonfiction. So of the 5, I'm going to pick 4 of them. Or, meaning add, I would like all 4 books I choose to be fiction. I happen to also have 5 fiction books, and since I want the 4 to all be chosen from that section 5, choose 4. This one can be done in your head. Think of it this way. I have 5 books. I need to pick 4. Won't one be left out every time? So I could leave this one out, or I could leave this one out, or this one, or this one, or this one. How many different ways can I do that? 5. Leave a different one out each time. So you can use a calculator, but that one is something you can do in your head. So 5 plus 5, 10. C, what is the probability? Make sure we have a fraction. What is the probability if the books are randomly chosen? The group of 4 books are either all nonfiction or fiction. So we need total number of ways at the bottom, and the top is what we want, which is specifically all 4 books fiction or all 4 books nonfiction. Didn't we just do that right here? This is how many ways you can get the books to be all fiction or nonfiction. There's 10 ways to do that. How many total ways are there to take 10 books and pick 4 of them? We already did that too. Questions on example 1. Okay. 2. The student senate consists of 6 seniors, 5 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 3 freshmen. How many different committees of exactly 2 seniors and, that's an important word, 2 juniors can be chosen? Let's do one thing at a time. We have and, which means times. Let's think about just the seniors. I have to pick 2 seniors. There's a lot of ways to pick 2 seniors. How many ways? Well, there's 6 of them, and I'm going to pick 2. And there's also a number of ways to pick the juniors. Here's how many. There are 5 juniors, and I'm going to choose 2. Order does not matter. They're just on the committee. Abby, let me know what you get. Did you guys get 300? I know. Yeah. I wonder what you typed. Choose 2 times 5. B, probability. We're going to have 2 numbers. What is the probability that the committee is formed by exactly 2 juniors and 2 seniors? Well, we know how many ways I can get what I want. That's going to be our top number. That's what I'm looking for. The bottom is the total number of ways to pick a committee. How many people are going to be on the committee? 4. How many total people do we have to pick from? A lot. 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3. 18? We have 18. Choose 4 people. Type that in and simplify. I get 5 over 102. If you divide that and put the percentage, I'm okay with a percentage too. We will get into percentages more later. If I type this out, I get 0.04901. Remember, that's the decimal. If I divide this, I get this. If I want to write it as a percent, 4.901%. So just make sure you're clear. If you're going to do a decimal, just the decimal. If you're going to do a percent, it should have the percent sign, and you moved it twice. I'll probably take all of the answers, but usually we don't just do the decimal. We do the percentage that it's going to happen or as a fraction. C. How many different committees of at most 4 students can be chosen? The committee prior had to have 4, but that's the most. They're saying it could have just 3 students, or it could have 2, or it could have 1. So let's write down the committee could have 4 students, or that's the most. So, or it could have had 3. You see why it's not and? Because that would be 7 people. It could have 4 students, or it could have 3, or 2, or 1. Or means add. How many ways can I pick 4 students? We've done that. That's how many ways I can take 18 and pick any 4 of them. This is going to be 18 total students. I want to choose 3 of them, and so on. Let's do this in your head, the first one. I have 18 students. I want to choose 1 of them. How many ways can I do that? 18, yep. Any questions on this one? All right, we're going to skip number 3. Let's go to 4. Notice I underlined, find the probability. So every question in number 4 is probability. Let's go ahead and make a fraction bar so we don't forget. Find the probability of each 5 card hands that contains the cards specified. The cards are taken from a standard 52 deck. So what I want in this one is I want a hand with 5 spades over the total just all hands possible. Desired result on top, total possible on the bottom. Let's start with the bottom. All of the hands possible. How many cards are there?
52.
And how many are in my hand?
5.
5. So all the hands are 52. Choose 5. The top, think of how many different ways I could get 5 spades. What do we think we're going to put on the top for the number of ways to get 5 spades? There's a lot of spades. 13.
Or 13 choose.
There you go. There are 13, and I want to choose 5. That's how many ways I could make a hand of 5 spades. Let's write our answer as a percent.
Oh.
Funny because Fifth Hour said that I said that Fifth Hour complains a lot. I'm like, oh, no. Sixth Hour. Jillian complains a lot,
No.
probably what I said.
Without you were saying
No,
that
well,
you
I
were
think you were there.
talking about them.
I know. I addressed that today, but I still don't know what they were talking about. But then somebody did say that I complained that I said that Fifth Hour complains a lot, which I don't know.
No, it's just Jillian.
In this, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm quiet in geometry, okay?
You're working hard, so it's not as bad as some.
There's a lot of kids in geometry.
Is there anybody that you can talk to in geometry?
Garrett's in there, but my teacher puts me on the opposite side of the room.
Because if you were together in a group, they'd be stacked. That's not what I do.
I sit by Trent and Miss Eller.
You have a lot of smart
I
kids.
like Trent.
Back to class.
Yeah, he's smart. He is smart.
Part B. Any questions on the decimal fraction answer part? Yeah.
I got like
Times E within your calculator. Yeah. So if you got an E, that means times 10 to whatever number follows.
it means if you
So what was it? E? What number followed E? Followed E.
follow and just continue the same.
Yep. So move it 4 times. And that would give you just your decimal. Anybody's calculator that said E, that means times 10, and then it'll say E something. E -4 means it moved 4 spots to the right. And then Lydia, when I'm done, I move it to the left, yes, for negatives, thank you. Then to make a percent, I move it to the right. Part B, I want 5 black cards. Is my total still the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, your total is going to be the same for all of these. The bottom, 52, choose 5. So B, I want 5 black cards, and I want to know how many different ways I can get the black cards and pick 5 of them. Jonathan, what do you think I would have for the numerator?
Numerator, you would want to do something like 25, choose. 26, choose 5.
Yes. So there are 13 spades and 13 clubs, which makes total black cards, 26 black cards. I got to pick all 5. Yeah, let's do percents. I'm not going to be super picky on how many places in the percent. You can see why I went further in the first one because it started with a 0. So kind of use your best judgment. I won't take off. Use at least 1 or 2 numbers that aren't 0. All right. C, there's an important word there. I don't know what just happened.
Are you recording?
Yeah. Recording nonsense right now. And what does and mean? Multiply. So I have to get 3 aces, and there's not really that many ways to pick the 3 aces because there's only 4. But let's write 4, choose 3. And then since my hand has to have 5 cards, 3 are going to be aces. That would be a great hand, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
3 aces and 2 kings. What would be 3 aces and 2 kings? Is 4 of a kind better than a full house?
No, but when
It
you
has to be.
Yeah. What's above
Straight flush.
straight flush, then straight flush, then royal flush? Royal flush at the top,
isn't
and
it
straight
like,
flush.
isn't it like Jack?
Oh, then straight flush, full house. We'll have to look them up. Kings.
Yeah, I know.
I think it'd be easier to get a straight than
Yeah.
4 of a kind.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I just read it on my book really 2 weeks ago.
What a straight flush,
The straight flush is same suited.
Right.
Okay, I still think it's fun, and I think that
Kings, there are
I mean, we can
4
literally find out,
kings,
but
choose
whatever.
2.
Probably what?
Probably why you like it so much.
Yeah.
Good.
I lost
Does C make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Why'd you repeat? They probably missed the first time.
We need to retake this video.
Why do you video 6 hour we can play the most?
Well, because I've just done it once, so then the number's already in my head,
Such
so.
a tiny number.
I feel like people watching this in the future are gonna be like, wow,
Their fault for not being here.
we're
I think that
Unless we're remote, then
They
This is
literally-
your
I'm sorry.
punishment to everybody.
The punishment
This
to
is
the
your
future
punishment
society.
to those who are missing.
No, because years ago, when they were missing, they had nothing to look at. They would come in during what didn't exist advisory. They'd come after school. I was gone yesterday. Can you teach me the lesson? I'd be like,
No.
I already taught it 4 times, so I really would rather not teach it a 5th. And then the next day somebody else shows up and I have to teach the whole lesson. It's not good. So
I would cry.
videos are my friend because I can just be like, just go watch
What
it.
if somebody like makes it like a TV show? Like they're just like watching them because we're so interesting.
We are kind of
We
interesting
are.
though.
Like,
Let's get
We're
through
really
D.
not.
I think
Hey guys, have a
D,
good day.
at least 1 ace. There's a long way and a short way to do this.
Guys.
At least 1 ace means I could have 1 ace or 2 aces or 3 aces or 4 aces. That's a lot of calculations. So I would prefer we do it this way. Instead of doing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 aces, why don't we do the opposite? What's the opposite of having 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 aces? Having no aces. So think of it this way. This is the same as 1 minus the probability of no aces.
No, I want to do weird.
That's fine. Do it that way. Similar to a question we had a while ago that says the chance of rain is 70%. What's the chance of it not raining? 30. 1 minus the chance that it does. That's what we're doing here. If you prefer to do it the other way, that's fine. It's just our work will look different. So let's go ahead. 1 minus. The denominator is still the same. 52, choose 5. I have to choose no aces. How many cards are not aces? 48. There were 52. There's 48 that are not aces. How many do I have to select?
0. 0. And we don't want any of them.
We're doing not aces.
48.
I get 48 cards in my hand now?
0. Oh, we have 5.
5.
Oh. It's just for
There are 48 that aren't aces, and I'm trying to figure out how many different ways I can pick 5 of those. I think that would be easier than doing it the other way, but you can decide. Highest percent so far, because if you think about the problem, it's not really uncommon that you get 5 cards and none of them are aces. Whereas all the other ones were not likely. The fact that you get 5 cards and they were all spades or all black or 3 aces and 2 kings, not very likely.
I like when they're all one color. Just it's easy to know the oopsies.
Any questions on 4? 5, I'm going to let you try on your own. It says decide whether the problem requires a combination or permutation. Then find the answer. Which one does order matter in? Combination or permutation? Order matters. Go ahead, figure out which it is, and then it's a pretty quick problem to finish.
Wait, what was, how did we do the last one? Because I did the subtraction thing. So you would do 1 minus the 8 and choose 5 over the 2 choose 5?
48 choose 5?
Yeah.
That's fine, 40.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And then do you put that answer on the numerator for the next one, or is that just the answer?
That 4825 is your numerator. It's the same denominator as before. So 1 minus.
Oh, and then that's just the, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yep.
If these people were watching this as a TV show, I hope that they don't look at me like Ross from Friends. He's terrible. I hate Ross.
Well, they also don't like. They would have to watch a bunch to even know what your voice is like. And yours is a lot harder to hear than mine.
Oh, I guess that's true, but I talk a lot, and I'm not very quiet. So.
We'll finish 5 and we'll see if you get it.
I think I did it wrong because I got big number.
There's big numbers.
I keep coming back because I guess I keep bullied all.
Literally, the only one that's gonna be here is
Every
Yep.
now and then that comes through this.
Yep.
there's literally one more.
In the entire.
And I don't know why the bottom one would be.
Time and space continuum.
A, does order matter?
No. Hopefully right.
Well, I have an editor-in-chief and an assistant editor-in-chief. Aren't those different things?
No, you still have a position.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
It doesn't.
How many students can be chosen for these 2 positions? But your 2 positions are different. So if I pick editor-in-chief and assistant editor-in-chief, or I flip it, that's 2 different things. So yeah, order does matter, except 2 different roles to be filled. The order does matter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because the positions are different, that'd be like president and vice president.
I think they're the same thing.
Like
Coworker.
B, does order matter in B?
Yes. No.
5 representatives for the student council. No, order doesn't matter. You get a really big number. If your calculator says E and then 10, that means times 10 to the 10th. So move it 10 times. If you run out of numbers to move it to, you fill them with zeros. So 1, 3, 8, 3, 6, 1, 3, 0, 0, 6, 0. All right, your homework is in your packet.
I did the wrong direction.